This is Jonathan Haber. I'm a professional life coach, and I've got some additional resources that are free for you here. I looked up this video because I've been challenged with anger recently. I discovered repressed anger, and it occurred to me that this had been one of the things that had broken up some of the relationships that I've appreciated the most in my life. So I got online and decided to look at some videos on anger and how to manage it and deal with it. And I got this video and I appreciate what they say. Connecting with the breath felt essential. So I'll offer just a little bit of a review and then some additional resources. Let me see if I can. So yeah, connecting with the breath. Connecting with the breath seems useful. Relaxing the body, because I'm imagining there's a connection between my body. I get kind of tense when I'm angry. Seeking context and getting it out and seeking context, all of those seem really helpful, and especially seeking context feels poignant for me. And what I also notice is that a bunch of other questions come up about relating to anger that aren't necessarily addressed in this video, and but there are some other tools that I've been using to address that. One tool is creating videos that kind of guide me through various processes for navigating whatever it is internally that I want to navigate: dreams, visions, goals, emotions, intentions, sensations, and awareness. More than anything, it seems to be the central piece. So I want to just make a couple of comments. I want to share basically what occurred to me. Where does anger come from is one of the first things that occurs to me. What has my attention fixed on a memory when I get angry? When I'm angry about something, it's like, why did she do that? Some memory of what just happened, and I kind of get stuck on it. Now, I like how they said, think rationally, and one of the things I want to highlight here is that not all of us orient ourselves around our rationality. About a third of us do, and some of us orient ourselves more around our emotional space, and others orient ourselves more around our instinctual center, or our instinctual, like our sensations and our basic attraction and aversion, what we feel pulled towards in our body, and what we find ourselves repulsed by or moving away from. So for those of us who think rationally, taking a rational approach on this, or who orient ourselves rationally, that's going to be really natural. If you tend to guide or orient yourself towards your emotions, then what might be better for you is actually making contact with the emotion directly and allowing yourself to feel it, and allowing yourself to get whatever lesson it is that it has for you, whether it's about a decision you need to make, or something you need to say no to, or whether there's a lesson about what's going on for you inside that somebody's reflecting. Like if somebody's cuts you off in traffic and your judgment is that they're impatient, then is there a way in which you judge yourself as impatient? And I think what we'll find, it's part of what Carl Jung adds to the world of personal development, is this idea of people being a reflection, and where our attention goes out there in terms of what they do. Let's say that they cut us off, where our attention goes, if it's that they're impatient, this idea that they're impatient, basically those judgments of others are a map of our interior terrain. And so if I judge that someone else is impatient, it's likely that I'm also judging that I'm impatient. And that's where the leverage is, as far as I can tell, is in taking my judgments of other people, and also, it turns out, my attraction towards qualities in other people, and allowing them to be a mirror, and then navigating the interior part of that. That might seem really vague and hard to understand for some of you, and that's okay. This is it's not critical to understand that. So some of the other questions that come up for me are, what has my attention fixed on a memory? How can I free up my attention when it does fix to a memory? What kind of role does trauma play in this, in the showing up of my anger? And what kind of a relationship to anger might be healthy? I've heard some people talk about a healthy relationship to anger versus an unhealthy relationship to anger. And what occurs to me in this moment is that if I'm lashing out at others, or if I'm lashing inwards at myself, if there's a reactive automatic response, then I'd call that unhealthy, because the automatic nature of it is automatic because I'm not conscious of something. There's something that I am asleep to. It could be a repression, it could be a denial of some aspect of myself. It could be a feeling like something is simply not me. Like if I say I'm a happy person, I'm not an angry person, and hold that as my identity, then I inhibit my ability to be aware of when anger does show up, and so it becomes unconscious. So to the degree that I'm unconscious of what's arising, and then it becomes more of a reaction instead of a choice. And so that's what has me, when I'm wondering what kind of a relationship to anger is healthy or unhealthy, that's what has me wondering if it seems like maybe if I'm reacting, if I'm unconscious, if it's an automatic response, and if it's pushed outward onto other people or pushed inward towards myself, I would consider those unhealthy. That's expressions of an unhealthy relationship to anger that then has the capacity to become a healthy relationship to anger. So we're going to cover some other videos here. The Dalai Lama will be next, and that's got a bit of a different angle on this. So, but just in the beginning of this exploration, that's what I want to offer, and then a couple of tools. I've got a video called Exploring Anger, and that uses, let me see if I can check my notes here. Yeah, I guess one of the other things I want to mention first is if I'm not aware of my anger, then I'm fused with it, and so it occurs to me as I'm angry. And so if you've felt that, or if you've heard yourself saying that, I am angry, that's an example of fusion. So I am. If you're not aware that you're angry, that would be even more of a fusion. Simply becoming aware of it has us capable of navigating it. If I'm not aware of it, I can't navigate it. If there's a train coming towards me and I'm not looking that way and I don't hear it, then I'm not able to navigate whether or not it's going to impact me. And so in much the same way, we've got to look at the train, we've got to look at our anger, we've got to look at what's showing up and allow ourselves to become aware of it in order to more skillfully navigate it. So the resources I have got a video on exploring our anger. It's free. Check it out. I'll leave a link in here, and basically, or actually, I'll just put that as the next video. And what that's going to do is it's a video that I use for myself to coach myself for developing a more intimate relationship with anger, including becoming more aware of it, cultivating my capacity to relate to it, making deeper contact with it, getting at whatever lessons it may have for me, and then exploring what anger is as an energy, just being with questions about what it is, and instead of trying to figure things out, which is a valid approach to anything, these are more oriented towards like the Zen koan practice, where you sit with a question and you notice what you notice, and you allow yourself to sense into what might be here. And so it's kind of similar to how we might cultivate insight in our awareness. And then it also has a practice called looping, and it's an adaptation of that practice, which comes from the avatar, personal self-actualization sort of lineage of thought, and that's how I got introduced to it. But it's heavily modified. So looping is a way of releasing fixed attention. And for me, I created, and usually with looping, you stick to one very specific theme and you stay with it. And in this case, what I did is I kind of worked through several different themes because I wanted to be able to watch this video over and over and over and over, and to get at some of the fundamental ways in which anger seems to show up for me. It seems to show up around trust, and whether I'm trusting myself or trusting life or trusting other people. It seems to show up around safety, because I don't feel safe in the presence of anger most often. But that will change through cultivating a healthier relationship with anger. So again, I appreciate the initial contribution to this conversation that this video proposes, and I just want to add to it a little bit. And then later on in this playlist, if you can find the playlist that this is coming from, or if you're on it, we're going to look at some other videos on anger, and I'll offer some more reflections and additional tools. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much for showing up and checking out this video and checking out these resources. And I hope that this continues to deepen your capacity to be with and navigate the ever-changing landscape of our emotional body and the ever-expansive landscape of our interior terrain, our thoughts, emotions, sensations, impulses, the whole range of that which arises within. So finally, once more, thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts and feedback.